Welcome once again to another Cambridge A-Level IT tutorial. Today we are going to look at the graphic design question that came in February and March 2019. We are going to look at question 1, which is divided into part A and part B. Part A being the graphic design, the vector imaging, and then the B being the animation. So let's dive right into the question and see what it entails. It says you are required to create images of numbers on a 7-segment or a 7-segment digital display. They will be used in an animation of a countdown timer. Each segment of the display is shaped like this, like a polygon, flat one, and should be arranged to fit as shown. Numbers can be placed by highlighting the segments, the required segments. Create a blank 7-segment display, 60 pixels wide and 110 pixels high, using a 1-point gray RGB 150 each outline. Save the image as 7seg template _ followed by your center number and candidate number. For example, this, and create an image of each number from 0 to 9 using the template. Save each image as 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. in a file format that supports transparency. So we are first going to look at how to create the 7-segment and the template, and then we create the number. So let's dive right into our vector imaging editor, and then let's create the artboard, which requires pixels of a width 60 by a height of 110. Let's be sure of the dimension again. 60 pixels by 110 high, using a 1-point gray RGB outline. So go back. So I'm going to begin by creating a square, a perfect square. So I'm going to ensure that the square has no stroke, but it will have a color, say red, and I'm going to hold down Shift whilst I click and drag across the artboard. Like this. Then I'm going to select the square, go to Edit, Copy, go to Edit once again and paste in front. Now I'm going to go to the diagonal corner or one corner of the square, and I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt once I drag down to create, click and drag down to create a smaller version of the square that has been outlined like this. So whilst it is still selected, go to the color palette and change the color to something different. So we have 2 squares. Now the next thing you like to do, or we need to do, is to pick the line tool or the line segment tool, which is under your rectangular shapes. It's here. Then you see this cross. Go to one corner of your square, click and hold and go diagonally down to the other side, and do the same thing for the other end as well, across. Now you have 2 diagonal lines across. Pick your selection tool, drag across to select everything. So now you see your diagonal lines as well, and then your 2 squares. The next thing we want to do is select just the 2 squares, holding Shift, select just the 2. By holding Shift, make sure just the 2 are selected, and go into your Pathfinder. Pathfinder is right here. and select minus front, this icon here, minus front. I think I didn't select the two. Let me select the two again. I hope they are selected now. Yeah. So I have taken out the one in the middle. Now I select everything again. I still have my diagonal lines in place. And this time around, I just pick my shape builder tool. And when you see the plus sign, it means you want to add or unite these shapes. And now we want to take them out of the picture. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and then this plus sign changes to a minus sign. And then I draw across all shapes that I don't need. I don't need this. Let's hold and draw. All I need is this small portion here. So I'm going to select it, go to Object and Transform because I want to create a duplicate, and I'm going to select Reflect. Make sure the axis is on vertical, and then click Copy. Hold Shift as you drag it a little bit to your left so that you have a combined shape. Now they are not together yet, so you need to go to the Pathfinder again, and this time around select Unite. So you have one shape. Done. Now all we need to do is to duplicate the rest of the shapes. So I'm going to hold down Alt to create a duplicate and bring the cursor to the end. When I see the rotation sign, I hold down Shift and rotate it 90 degrees and bring it to this end, just like this, so that it meets the other one, just like this. So if you want to be sure of maybe the accuracy of what you're doing, you can also, let me delete this first. You can also enable the stroke that was required. So to do that, we come down here and we select the stroke icon, double click it. Now go into this RGB field and type in the required color that was given in the question. That is 150 for red, 150 for green, 150 for blue, and then just click OK. And then make sure the point up here is 1 point, and then you're correct. Now this time around, you come here and then remove the fill, the red fill, so we are good to go like this. This, I create my duplicate, rotate it, and then fix it up here. So this time around, I know I'm doing the right thing up here. So to duplicate this, I select both. I think there's something tiny here I need to delete. Yeah. Select both, hold Alt, and I have another version. All I need to do is rotate 180 degrees and then fix that up here. So we have a perfect digital segment. So now we need to do the bottom part because we need an 8 figure. So to do that, we can replicate everything and then bring it down here. But before I do that, Let me reduce the size a bit by holding shift. With everything selected, holding shift and then reduce the size a little bit. And then this time around, I select one, left, bottom, and then right, left, bottom, right. And then I hold Alt and drag down and place it here first. And then I group these, and this time around I take my time and place them here. So we have our 8 figure, but we need to fit it into the artboard, the dimension that we've been given. So I'm going to select everything, right click and say group. And this time around I'm going to try, and I think that's perfect now. So we are required to save the template as 7sec template underscore your candidate number, your center number, followed by your candidate number. So I'm going to save this 7seg underscore template underscore, I'm just using an imaginary number, and then I'll say save. So to create the first number, which is 0, I select the segment that will make up the 0 by holding shift. Select all the segments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this not included, and then I go to my color palette and select black. Now I go to File, Export, Export As. Then I go to folder I've just created for that and name it as 0 as required in the exam's question, 0, and then say export. Yeah, you leave these options as it is, and under the background color, make sure this is transparent and you click OK. For the number 1, all I need to do is select the segments that I feel will not be part of the 1 and leave these, and I go to my color palette and disable the color. So I have my number 1. I go to File, Export, Export As. I go to my folder and say 1. Make sure this is PNG, Portable Network Graphics. Say Export.
No sound. I'll find valid in your eyes. You'll always be my night sky. You'll always be my night sky.
Okay, so with all the numbers created, we can now go into the next segment of our question.